What is going on, everyone? Happy Saturday. Welcome back to DXB Crypto. Welcome to a green, heavily manipulated market. Once again, they send us low, they send us high, they send our emotions right, left, and center. But we ignore that. We focus on the data. And the data actually shows that we could see another bottom. Not dampening the spirits. Don't come for me. I am bullish, and I'm sitting here every day making video content on crypto. I'm extremely bullish, but people need to understand what's happening around them so they can make their choice of how they do things. Not like those idiots that hold $100,000 worth of Mavia and they sit on it for the last 24 months and asking where his assets are going. So smash a like, guys. I've got to start here, okay? Lineia is coming. Now, we don't want to overload or overhype this launch. Why? Because the times have changed and largely Ethereum layer 2s have been heavily impacted by base. If we had no base to start this launch, I would probably say this is the best kind of most anticipated. It is one of the most anticipated launches in crypto, but I would have been even more bullish. But base has kind of taken the shine away from the likes of Lineia. Again, I don't know what Ethereum were thinking, but it's still going to be, we're still going to be able to make money. Now, I have identified two projects. I do believe Links, the DEX, and of course, Foxy, the meme coin, could still run. But nevertheless, you can't ignore Lineia and, of course, being built by consensus, the same people who largely built Ethereum, MetaMask. So this is very close to the team of the core team. And of course, experienced Web2 like the speed, the cost. Lineia does bring certain advantages to, of course, Ethereum. However, those advantages, a lot of those have also been brought to Ethereum by base. So yeah, you know, not financial advice, of course. This would have been way more bullish back in the days. Lineia connects dApps to about 100 million native Web3 users in ways no other Web3, no other network can. True, once again, my kind of evolution into Lineia has been dampened somewhat by the success of base. Lineia is an L2. We know L2s are not hot outside of the base ecosystem, really. But I am quietly bullish on some of the ecosystem. Like I said, Links, the DEX, and of course, the main meme coin over there that could see an advantage in terms of how they promote Lineia moving forward. Imminent drop. This is very good alpha that I'm giving you. And of course, I'll publish certain key metrics within the VIP Discord. Join that for $9 a month. It'll be the best $9 you've ever spent in your entire life. Now, let's continue with our updates, guys. Let's talk about this, which caught my eye. Kobosi letter. After another brief intermission, we are back. The 10-year note yield is back above 4.5% as rate cuts are pushed back even further. We are just 8 basis points away from level seen during the 20-year bond auction on May 21st. It's only a matter of time before we see 8% plus mortgage rates. So you might be thinking, DXB, what are you doing talking about mortgages, right? What are we talking about mortgages for? Now, let me tell you about the 10-year yield so we can understand it. Guys, it's not easy for us, you know. Us normies sometimes don't get these. And of course, there's people try to sound clever. We need the layman's terms, right? We need to know what the F this has got to do with us. As meme coin and L1 and AI and gaming crypto investors, right? We just buy low and sell high. Now, yes, but there are risks, monumental risks here. So I want to explain to you, and I want to give you some examples here. And I think you'll find this video probably the most helpful video right now for retail normies to understand macro events. Smash a like, you greedy bunch. Anyway, the cost of capital increases as this number rises, right? Over 4.5%. Above 4.5%, what happens is the risk-free returns become more attractive. So cost of capital increases, risk premium widens. Okay, and people actually tend to go for, investors may rotate into out of the volatile assets like crypto and into safer yields, especially if inflation is sticky and rate cuts are delayed. That's exactly what's happening. Equity and crypto valuations compress. As the yields get higher, it equals to higher discount rates, lower present value for cash and the future cash flows. Now, of course, this hit tech stocks and growth sectors the hardest. Crypto is often in tandem with the stock market. We know that. And signal to the Fed. If the yield rises because markets believe inflation remains sticky or the Fed won't cut rates, it reinforces the idea that higher for longer, which is bearish in the macro sense. Now, what is the historical play here? So historically, in October 2023, I remember crypto bottomed. Crypto bottomed before ultimately most of our coins did a 10, 15, 20x's. October 2023. Let's go back to that date. So the 10-year yields hit a 5% level, triggering a sharp sell-off across the S&P 500 and Bitcoin. You could go back to any chart and you will see October 2023 as being a major, major low. And in mid-2022, during the crypto bear market, of course, the yields above 4.5% coincided with crypto collapsing from the 40K to 20K levels. Bear market conditions. If the yields rise due to strong economic growth without inflation, risk assets can be absorbed, but that is very rare, guys. The current macro signs shows of stagflation, tight liquidity, and not expansion. Okay, I hate to be that guy, but of course, we have to understand these things. When the 10-year yield hits above 4.5%, normally markets become a risk adverse and that credit becomes slightly more expensive, tighter, and all of that. And of course, downward pressure onto risk assets, as always. Now, there are other more bullish factors, but mostly you'll be told that, yeah, we are going to the moon and that's it. But it's not exactly that, guys. Things are always fluid. And of course, you need to watch this playing out, because I can show you, honestly, in the last cycle, it was the same thing. And in every cycle, it's always the same thing. So, guys, those of you who are staking their Galaxis engines, go and claim your tokens before you forget, right? Go claim your tokens. So, Galaxis now, the period for staking for most of us who got in together has now expired. So really, look, I'm not calling for doom and gloom. We could take off from here, of course, but let's watch that, because things have a habit of bottoming before they go to the moon. And if things continue the way they are and we start running, I've always said that it's good to take some off the table and then come back sitting pretty in a much better time. All right. So just to recap, of course, we're now fully educated about how the bonds work, especially the 10-year. We now know that Lineia is going to launch. And of course, there are ecosystem play at hand. You are aware that Cocoro price has absolutely been in a very good levels of accumulation. I do believe I called this out. We are now in this level where we should be accumulating some more, guys, if it bounces here. All right. So, yeah, market's looking juicy. Things are green. Don't leverage. Just be very, very careful. Do not leverage. Stay safe out there, guys. And let's see how the markets open. But there you have it. That's my weekend take on this market manipulation. Again, I'm not adverse to buying crypto and DCA, because you can't deploy. Say if you got $10,000 to spend, you got to do that over weeks or days. There's no FOMO here, guys. We are going to rock it as and when the markets allow and a Fed pivot happens. So focus on building reasonable bags take the fear out of it. It doesn't matter if it goes a little bit here, down. Doesn't matter if it pumps. All you need to do is consistently work on your bags long term, and you are good to go after that. You are definitely good to go after that. But this idea and expecting without understanding the macro, oh, are we going to hit old season top now? And Eve's going to do a 5x from here now and non-stop. And no, none of that. You know, understand this game is one of patience and building. The ones that don't really check their portfolio, but they know exactly what they want to buy, those are the ones that do really well. You know, the idiots that just take whatever small move of the market that happens and put their emotions behind it, those guys are the most annoying because they just don't understand you have to be patient with this game because you're almost there right now. Almost there right now. So anyway, guys, God bless you all. I want to leave you with that positive thought. And of course, as long as, you know, in the words of a great man that's locked up right now, you know, the sun don't shine forever. But as long as it's here, we might as well shine together. Better now than never, and business before pleasure. What basically that means is don't go and drink your DCA money, right? Put your DCA money into decent projects and sit tight because you'll be rewarded later parts of this year. And regardless anyway, I'm going to get out of crypto at some point. Exhausted, tired. I just want to make my money and I just want to have time with my family. All right. So at some point in the next 6 months, maybe next 8 months, if we go into Q1 2026, I'm getting the F out of here, not leaving crypto, but I'm saying I'm going into stables at some point. Right. But before then, we might as well shine together, guys. Smash a like and I'll catch you on the next one. Take care, legends.